Hello and welcome to 5 at 5. The topic of discussion is Virat Kohli and Rohit Sharma playing the Vijay Hazare Trophy and what impact that has on domestic cricket. The question we will also ask is, does that now mean that both of these players are clearly focused on the World Cup of 2027? For why else would they want to play domestic cricket, follow the guidelines, make a splash after what they've done in the last couple of months, score tons of runs? The third question that we will discuss is what impact this has on domestic cricket overall, on the younger players, when they see stars like Virat Kohli and Rohit Sharma turn up at the Vijay Hazare Trophy, how they get impacted and how they improve as a result. The whole aspirational story of playing the sport gets a big flip because domestic cricket, in terms of credibility and stature, go higher up. Finally, what does this do for broadcast? What does this do for interest? Because when these stars start to play domestic cricket, automatically the interest in the sport grows considerably. So these are the subjects that we are going to discuss. Alongside, we will also discuss other sports. We will have a chat on the ISL, where the ISL stands, or can the ISL happen based on a proposal that has now been given by the secretaries of Goa and Bengal. Anirban Datta, the IFA secretary, even spoke to me yesterday and seemed relatively confident, but it will be decided and discussed between clubs today. From what we understand, the AIFF General Secretary, Satyanarayana, is also supposed to or expected to meet ISL clubs or representatives of ISL clubs in Bengaluru today. So that is also something that we will touch upon. Coming back to the Vijay Hazare Trophy, Virat Kohli and Rohit Sharma. Look, Virat Kohli and Rohit Sharma are two of the biggest, if not the two kind of crowd pullers who can still put bums on seats in any part of the world. Yes, I am conscious of the fact that in Bengaluru, for example, at the COE, it was a no spectator game. Had it been an open game like at the Chinnaswamy, once again the stadium could have been full. There are multiple reports in the newspapers earlier today, where it was said that in Jaipur, for example, it's a Rohit mania that has taken over the city. Now, that's the kind of thing. Had it been Vijay Hazare Trophy without a Rohit Sharma and a Virat Kohli, it would merit a one-column newspaper space in the main newspaper. We would also be doing a story here at Rev Sports and maybe cover saying, okay, X has won or Y has won. Somebody has scored a 10 or a 50 or a 100, like Vaibhav Suryavanshi, 36 ball, 100 against Arunachal Pradesh, could have been a headline. By the way, when I'm on Vaibhav Suryavanshi, some of these trolls have put out that 36 ball 100 and said, now what will you say? Precisely my point, that somebody who is exactly as talented and exceptionally talented as Vaibhav Suryavanshi, imagine this kind of talent meshed with temperament, where this man can go. And the worry is that it should not go astray. The man should serve India for the longest time to come. And that's exactly why I wrote the pieces that I did. So for a fool to come out and say, oh, now what? Clearly shows that where the hero worship culture of these trolls are. Anyway, this is not a subject about Vaibhav Suryavanshi. This is clearly about domestic cricket. And I'm, by the way, super chuffed about the fact that Vaibhav got the 100. Yes, I'm conscious it's Arunachal Pradesh. Ahead of the under-19, you would want an Ayush Matre to score. You would want Varghese to score. You would want Vaibhav to score. You would want the Indian under-19 boys to score. Virat Kohli and Rohit Sharma, if it had not been for these two, the Vijay Hazare Trophy or the euphoria around the Vijay Hazare Trophy would not even be 10% of what it is. People are glued. Social media discourse is all about the two. People are putting out practice videos because some of them, for example, Rushi, Rohit Sharma's fan, who is pretty well known in the X domain, has put out videos of Rohit Sharma catching. Bharat Ramraj, our colleague, was in Bengaluru at the COE, and when Bharat went at about 8 o'clock in the morning, there were already cameras. There were already people standing outside the gate waiting for the Delhi team bus to come. So there was so much interest, and Bharat got that video which we had put out of the team bus. Virat was sitting at the back of the bus. So there is enormous amount of interest surrounding these two players. What they score, what they do, that is irrelevant. See, these two players now don't get much match time. They played the 3 games in Australia. Thereafter, they played the 3 games against South Africa. They will play the few games against New Zealand. But otherwise, they do not play international cricket. They hardly play any other cricket at all. So clearly, the fact that they are playing domestic cricket or Vijay Hazare Trophy will keep them in sync. And match time, make no mistake, is absolutely critical. To prove my point, when Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli came back to play in Australia, it was after the Champions Trophy and the IPL. The last international tournament was the Champions Trophy. After that, both retired from Test cricket in May. They were not in England, and they played the IPL, which ended end of May. So when they were actually taking the field in Australia, they had not played cricket for a good 4 or 5 months. When they took the field in Australia game one, all of you will remember that Virat Kohli got out for a first ball duck. Rohit Sharma looked completely out of sorts. Game two, once again Virat Kohli failed. Rohit Sharma, for the first 20 odd runs against Josh Hazlewood and some of the Australian pacers, yet again looked completely out of sorts. But the fact that he was prepared to look ugly, the fact that he was prepared to kind of grind it out, fight it out, be out there in the middle, all of a sudden we saw the ball hitting the middle of the bat for Rohit Sharma. All of a sudden things started to get good for Rohit Sharma, and he ended up with a 70 odd. Come game three, it was a completely different story. Virat Kohli spent time out in the middle, got a 50. Rohit Sharma was absolutely sublime in that particular knock, went on to get 100 and win India the game. The time that he had spent out there in the middle in game two actually came to Rohit's rescue in game three and made a huge difference as far as Rohit Sharma is concerned. The same actually happened with Virat Kohli. The fact that he was out there in game three, he spent about a couple of hours on the pitch. Game time is profoundly different than practice. Surya Kumar Yadav is a glaring example. I was there at that practice thing in Dubai. We were all there. Rohit Juglan, myself, Shubhayan, Gargi, Ashok, Bharat Ramraj. We were all there in Dubai during the Asia Cup. And Surya Kumar Yadav looked very good in practice. He was hitting the big balls. He was hitting the balls for six. He was, playing his cut shots and all of that. He was solid. He was absolutely solid. But when it came to game time and when it came to match performance, his form was found wanting. Virat Kohli, because of the fact that he was able to spend time out in the middle in Australia in that final game in Sydney, when it came to South Africa, the South Africa series, he was on song. He got 100 in Ranchi, he got 100 in the second game, and in the third game, he finished off the run chase in a canter. That was the Virat Kohli of old. All of a sudden, the kind of batsmanship that we saw of Virat Kohli in that South Africa series was just fabulous. And coming to Rohit Sharma too, in the South Africa series, may not have scored 100, but he continued on from his form in Australia. Once again, Rohit Sharma proved a point with a 50 in game one, with a 50 in game three. Rohit Sharma was absolutely top notch as well. So the point that I'm trying to make is game time. The fact that both of these players are playing domestic cricket, it is clear evidence. It is clear evidence that these two players are absolutely focused now. That's point number 2 of this show. For the longest time, we have been asking this question that the World Cup is still about 22 months away. The fact that they are playing well now, does it actually mean that going ahead into the World Cup, Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli are both going to be fine and both going to make a case for themselves? Now that they are playing domestic cricket, they are doing two things. One we've already said, actually three. One, we've already said that they are giving themselves much needed game time. The gap between the South Africa series and the New Zealand series would have been considerable had they not played domestic cricket. But now that they are playing domestic cricket, they are practicing with the teams, they are playing matches, they will be in sync, they will be out there. So come the New Zealand series, they have game time under their belt. That's point one. Point two, and this is very critical again, the BCCI has now made a rule that you have to, whoever you are, if you are a player who is a centrally contracted cricketer, you have to go out and play domestic cricket, for it is now contingent. Virat Kohli and Rohit Sharma, by abiding with by the rule and going ahead and playing domestic cricket, is also making a statement that the institution is bigger than any individual, and they are centrally contracted cricketers who are following the guidelines or the diktat issued by the BCCI. And when we are talking domestic cricket, this is actually a rule, or rather a plan, which has been put together by the current management under Gautam Gambhir. So credit. After the Border Gavaskar Trophy defeat, This plan was put together that players, irrespective of who you are, will have to come and play domestic cricket. That's what we are now see happen along with Virat Kohli and Rohit Sharma. So clearly, the BCCI's plan of every player playing domestic cricket is coming true, with two of the greatest stars of Indian cricket of all time also deciding to play domestic cricket in a festive season. Both of them have young families. Christmas Day tomorrow, you could have easily taken off for a holiday with family. Virat stays in London. People go to London for a white Christmas. He did not do that. So clearly, there is intent on the part of both of these cricketers. And that brings me to my final point about these two before I move on to the impact on domestic cricket. Both of them, by playing domestic cricket, is giving a very clear signal. And the signal is both want to play World Cup of 2027. If anyone says anything to the contrary, I don't think people are reading well into their plans. Because look, to first travel to Australia for a three match white ball series made zero sense for two legends of their stature or caliber. They have achieved everything that there is to achieve in Indian cricket. Won World Cups, won multiple titles, player of the matches, player of the series, player of the decade, whatever you want to call it. They've got everything in their cabinet. For them, Virat also has a 50 over trophy, Rohit hasn't. Rohit has not won. For them, and they came close in 23, to continue to play on a format which is relatively a format of unimportance in the immediate future, said quite a bit. For them to travel to Australia for three games in October made zero sense had there been no plans to continue forward. Yes, had they not performed, questions could have been asked that, oh, now what? Now you have to leave them out because they are not scoring runs. But the moment they scored runs and the moment they performed in Australia, that debate was put to rest. Come South Africa, both even got better. Virat won the player of the series against South Africa, Rohit won the player of the series against Australia. So all debates on form was put to rest immediately. Now that they are playing domestic cricket, there is zero doubt in my mind that both of these cricketers want to play 2027 and will do everything that they can to kind of make sure that on form, in merit, you know, in every sense, they are geared up for that particular World Cup in South Africa. So the big takeaway, the little takeaway is, they're following the BCCI plan. They are giving themselves game time ahead of New Zealand. That's the more immediate takeaway. The larger and more macro takeaway is the fact that both of these players are giving a clear indication that both want to play World Cup of 2027. Unless there are injury concerns, unless something dramatically goes wrong, they will play the New Zealand series, following which they will have IPL. So there is game time there, following which they will go to England for the white ball series, which starts on the 1st of July, if I remember from memory. Between July 1 and July 19, India will be in England for the white ball series. There are ODI games. They will play ODI games. Subsequently, there will be more because I'm sure the BCCI will add a few as well going into 2027, the World Cup. So clearly, there is now a plan in place where these two cricketers will not be away from the game for too long a period. So I think in every sense, this is a major development for Indian cricket, the fact that Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli have both turned up to play domestic cricket. What they score, how much they score, is of little consequence. I will tell you a story from our work group. People even said in our work group, let's get photographs of Virat Kohli fielding because people are interested in knowing. Now, that is the kind of interest that these two players create or these two players have in the public domain, in the social media age that we live in. So that's about Virat Kohli and Rohit Sharma. Moving on. The larger macro question on the impact on domestic cricket. The impact is massive. If you are a domestic cricketer, you know in your subconscious mind that you will turn up with no spectators. Yes, some of the games are getting telecast, but the kind of interest is at best modest. Whoever you are, unless you are a top flight cricketer like a Hardik Pandya or a Shubman Gill or a Surya Kumar Yadav, The interest in domestic cricket has always been limited, except the cricket nut, people who follow the sport. They will kind of follow, the scores and follow the live scoring on the BCCI app or something like that. But the general public, the cricket watching public, is not really keen on following domestic cricket. And it's fine. It's fine. That's been the norm. The moment Virat Kohli and Rohit Sharma play, immediately the whole thing gets transformed into a spectacle. They will start trending, social media will start buzzing, people will start talking, there will be pressure on the broadcaster to telecast. The whole ecosystem kind of comes alive the moment these two start playing domestic cricket, and that is what is expected to impact the young cricketer. Any young cricketer, whoever is playing domestic cricket, will feel inspired, will feel that the kind of interest levels has magnified, will also feel a little bit of pressure because now they will be under the pump to deliver because there is public interest. So that's actually good for the domestic game again, because under pressure, how some people, under glare, media glare, there is interest. How you perform will well define you as a cricketer going forward. So the macro picture where these two cricketers are playing makes domestic cricket a far more viable economic property than it is in normal circumstances. Domestic cricket is lucrative, domestic cricket is attractive, domestic cricket has interest, domestic cricket will be followed by many thousands today because of the fact that Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli have played. And that will have a trickle down impact on the other players who are also playing the domestic game. If you are playing with a Virat Kohli, automatically, if you are playing in the opposing team, the determination is to get Virat Kohli out. How many of you knew about Himanshu Sangwan? How many of you had followed the career of Himanshu Sangwan? Hardly. Hardly anyone had followed the career of Himanshu Sangwan. I think my dog is also wanting to get into the show in some way. Christmas time, so he's enjoying himself and barking away to glory. Anyway, coming back, the question that I was asking is how many of us knew about Himanshu Sangwan ahead of the Virat Kohli dismissal at the Ranji level? Very few people. Himanshu Sangwan was a domestic cricketer, and that's where the matter ended. But the moment he got Virat Kohli out, be it the media, be it the number of interviews, be it public glare, be it interest, be it cynosure, public attention, he became an overnight talking point. That is what happens with younger cricketers. And if you're part of the same team, imagine you are sharing the dressing room with a Rohit Sharma in Jaipur, or you are sharing a dressing room with a Virat Kohli in Bengaluru. What impact does that have on you as a cricketer? If you're an aspiring youngster, fantastic. Anyone who is an aspiring young cricketer in India, to share the dressing room with a Virat Kohli or Rohit Sharma is absolutely fantastic for anyone, for their temperament, to see them operate, to see how they go about their jobs, to see how they perform, to see how they train, to see how they conduct themselves, see how they deal with the media, to see how they deal with public glare. Every little thing, according to me, is a learning for a young cricketer wanting to grow big and make his name in the Indian cricket circuit. So the macro picture of these two players playing domestic cricket is really significant. They will create an aspirational story for anyone who's playing the sport. They will make the opponents more hungry. They will make their own teammates better cricketers and better human beings by the fact that they share the same social space and the dressing room space with both of them. So, in every sense, the two of them playing domestic, or for that matter, all. I was told that Surya will play, Shubman will play, Abhishek will play. All of India's leading Hardik will play, except Jasprit, who has been given a break. Most of them will play domestic cricket. This will be a fantastic thing for the domestic game and for the overall cricket ecosystem in the country. Moving on to a different story, now that I've done this domestic cricket bit, let's take the Ben Duckett case. I think Gargi Raut and my colleagues did a show at 12 noon on this particular thing. Ben Duckett, first and foremost, no one is defending Ben Duckett slurring or anything like that. This is not a defense or a criticism of Ben Duckett. Now ask yourself, if you are an individual, have you not done anything similar in your off time? Have you not made a mistake. I mean, if you say that you have not made a mistake, then you are close to God. The fact that when you, for example, fight with family or make a mistake, if somebody comes and films you, if somebody comes and shoots a video of you and puts it out in the public domain, in my case it happened the other day when my colleagues were not they were not able to, for whatever technical glitch, not able to shut the video at the end of a show, and a private conversation with my wife about my father-in-law being in the ICU went on air. It was embarrassing because we don't want such private conversations to get on air. We both felt bad about it, that it should not have gone out on air. Now imagine this. In this case, at least, it was our. We were conscious of it. We immediately took corrective measures. We got it deleted, and all that. But in the case of Ben Duckett, I don't think Ben Duckett was asked that can we film this video. I don't think Ben Duckett was asked anything that is this a private whatever. You are in a social space. Yes, this is the problem of being a celebrity. This is the problem that every step of yours will be measured and put under the scanner. This is not Ben Duckett in the field of play. This is not Ben Duckett in the dressing room. This is not Ben Duckett in a match situation. Yet, Ben Duckett was filmed, the video was put out on social media, and today I am told that Ben Duckett could even miss the Boxing Day test. Now, any cricketer worth his salt, for him or her to play at the MCG in a Boxing Day test in front of 100,000 people is perhaps the biggest dream. For Duckett, this dream could well come to an end because of a video that has now gone viral. Yes, there will be an investigation, but just for a second, ponder that is Ben Duckett paying the price for something that social media really made into a controversy? Is this at all a controversy? Would, in the absence of social media, this even come out in the public domain? Are we the now the moral police, the guardian, or whatever it is? This is this the field of play where everything, because Duckett is then going to be consumed as a cricketer by many million people, but in his private space, in his private social time, he is being filmed like, why should this happen? Have you thought about it? This is no defense of anyone. I'm just trying to make a point that how social media can actually make things very, very problematic. I mean, and yes, I mean, in Duckett's case, for having lost control, in a private time when he's not playing out there. Yes, he's an English cricketer, he has responsibility and all of that, but will anyone film you without your permission? Is that a fair practice? And then the video gets put out on social media, and Australian fans, we all know, much like Indian fans, can get really problematic. So the debate is out there. The debate is out there, and my position is that if it's the field of play, then there are certain standards that anybody has to adhere to, and that's why I had written what I had on Vaibhav Suryavanshi, for example. But this is not a social space for, not a play field for Ben Duckett. He was not playing the game. He was alone. He was in a. He was, yes. He had drinks, which you can say that as a cricketer, why should you do in the public this thing? Remember a Keith Miller, remember a Sir Garfield Sobers, then they would remember a Sir Ian Botham, remember Vivian Richards, remember how many times they would get banned if this same yardstick of social media would be imposed on them. Sir Garfield Sobers and Keith Miller, how many stories have we heard of Sir Garfield and Keith Miller doing what they did, and coming back after alcohol binging and whatever. I'm not defending. Firstly, I'm a teetotaler myself. I'm not defending anyone, but all I'm trying to say is, in private moments, if you film someone, Ian Botham would have gotten a ban every second game, or a Sir Garfield Sobers, or a Sir Keith Miller, or for that matter, many people. Australia, Merv Hughes. Think of Merv Hughes, think of many Australian cricketers, and then come and tell us that, is this a fair reflection of what is happening, and or is this kind of social media trying to be over intrusive and taking over private spaces as well, and people who are in the public glare are having to pay a price for it. So the Ben Duckett story has become very, very big and very significant as to how social media can make your life an absolute menace of sorts. Moving on to the third story of the show today, and this is my final story, is the ISL. Now, what is happening with the ISL? The honest answer is still there is no clarity. First, it was the federation which put out a tender, no takers. The FSDL deal with the federation ended on the 8th of December. After that, from what I understand, FSDL is no longer interested in Indian football at the moment. Certainly not in any stopgap solution of sorts to do an ISL by some means in 25-26. They are not bothered or interested. After that, the matter went to Supreme Court. Now, if India does not hold a league, India stands to get a FIFA ban. If India does not hold a league, we are a country that is going to host the Commonwealth Games. We are a country that will be making a strong bid for the 2036 Olympic Games. We will actually become the talking point in front of the world because football is played by over 200 countries, and here is a country which is making a pitch for an Olympic Games, can't host its own national league, can't host its second league. Football as a sport has come to a standstill in the country with people like a groundsman or anybody, referees or anyone associated, not to forget the footballers, are losing livelihoods. So the fact of the matter is a league has to happen. So if a league has to happen, the question is how? What's the process? First, after the Supreme Court allowed people to come back with a proposal, the federation met a number of people. Uh, Nothing came through. The federation tried to meet the CEOs and meet the clubs. Nothing came through. Thereafter, a proposal was given by the clubs where it was said that they would give the federation 10 crore rupees and they would go ahead and organize the ISL for the foreseeable future for all the next several years. The federation obviously was not willing to bite into that cherry because they thought that control would go away. From what we understand, the federation was very unhappy with that proposal. Some clubs also weren't very keen on that, not every club, and officials were also quite upset, saying that the control of the league would go away from the hands of the federation to the club. So this is not acceptable. Thereby, a committee was formed, and it was Goa and Bengal who took the lead in coming out with another proposal, which was supposed to be tabled today. So my colleagues Devashish Sen and Rahul Giri will be on that story. That when that proposal is tabled, and as I said, Satya Narayana, from what I know, is supposed to meet the representatives of ISL clubs in Bengaluru. Will we get a breakthrough? The idea or what is on the table is to try and figure out a solution by the end of this month so that an ISL of some sort or a league of some sort can be started end of January or early February. My take on this, I am hopeful that a solution will be found because the sports ministry also will intervene and make sure that India doesn't become a talking point or a laughing stock in front of the world. So hopefully football in this country will not be dead. Football in this country or the footballers will not have to worry about their livelihood, and that pains me that our footballers do not have a livelihood in sight. Everything is under risk. Coaches contracts, players contracts, groundsman contracts, salaries will be stopped, clubs will shut down. This is a grim scenario for Indian football for sure. So keeping that in mind, I think a solution will indeed be found. I think people will figure out something, whether or not it is today. And if a solution is found, the idea was to table the solution by the end of the month, and then ISL should start by the end of the calendar, by the end of January or early February of 2026. So that's as far as the football story is concerned. To close the show, in the morning we have announced a partnership with Telangana. They will now be the feature state. Fantastic work is going on in the sporting realm or the sporting domain in the state of Telangana. I was part of the Telangana Rising Summit with Gopi Chand and Sindhu and Jwala Gupta and Azharuddin and Anil Kumble and Jayesh Ranjan, who's the special chief secretary to the CM. So there is a lot of work. They've formed a committee with Sanjeev Goenka and Vita Dani and Gagan Narang and Abhinav Bindra for their sports policy. So a lot of work is being done in the state. We've signed a deal whereby Telangana will be the feature state for the Trailblazers Conclave 4.0, and we hope that together, along with the many partners, we will be able to have a significant impact on the sporting ecosystem, which has been the basis of the Trailblazers Conclave so far. So I'm extremely pleased with this deal with the Telangana government, whereby we hope that we will be able to make perceptible impact in the realm of Indian sport. So, welcoming Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli playing, great fillip to domestic cricket, big for other domestic cricketers as well. Very worrying as far as the Ben Duckett issue is concerned, as to where this moral policing will stop, where does social media stop intruding, and finally, super pleased about the Telangana deal. As far as football is concerned, fingers crossed that Santa Claus should come and give us a footballing breakthrough. Wishing you all a Merry Christmas. Tomorrow, the big day for many of you. Celebrate, have a great festive week starting Christmas Day and going into New Year. I will once again see you tomorrow at 5 p.m.